Alrighty, folks, I have been lucky enough to be invited to speak at Northwest Action Summit. I am the keynote speaker talking about seller financing and private money. I've gone through the presentation, and one of the bonus slides that I am bringing up is going to be the most flexible, the most powerful lending product I have ever seen. And that, of course, is what we call the 50-40-10. Velocity calls the 90% CLTV loan. Mr. Stephen Dow, before we get started, do the marketing spiel, and then I will bring up the slide to make sure you're okay with what I have.
Okay. Well, then, although I work very happily, obviously, for Velocity Mortgage Capital, all the ideas and topics discussed on this channel are that of my own. So, yeah, let's get it going.
Yeah. So what I want to do is bring up the slide. It's still draft, right? I still have a couple of days to put this together. I have done a couple of dry runs, but let me bring up the bonus slide and make sure it's kind of sharing the right aspects.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let me see. Let me know when you see that.
Okay.
All right.
See it?
Okay, cool. So let me go to your slide.
Mm-hmm.
So again, 50-40-10. Again, I'll be on stage. I'll be telling the story. That's the email, right? sdow@velocitymortgage.com.
Yes, it is.
Okay, cool. On the right, you will actually see our deep dive, our 90-minute session, all the Q&A. So I'm going
Mm-hmm.
to, that'll be like, hey guys, if you really want to, know the ins and outs of this, watch this. But when I break it down, obviously I'll need to define what the 90% CLTV is, right? Combined loan to value.
Right.
Highlight that you can use this to pay more and get lower payments. Kind of
Potentially.
win-win. Yeah, potentially.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of you gotta, pitch this as a win-win scenario. What other things would you want me to highlight, on this to kind of complete the story, if anything?
Well, I maybe I think from the standpoint of sometimes people might overthink it to where, okay, well, if I can get the lender to do the 50% in first position,
Mm-hmm.
right, and they allow seller financing combined up to a maximum of or secondary financing, what have you, up
Mm-hmm.
to a maximum combined loan value of 90%. I think in some cases, some people maybe overthink it to where, all right, I need to negotiate the second to make sure that I can still qualify for the first mortgage. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
in some cases, like, yeah, the seller financing now, that's an additional monthly payment. How's that going to impact my loan on the first?
Right. Okay.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. Yeah. Yeah.
It doesn't.
Velocity is, yeah. I mean, simply said, velocity is good at 50%, right?
Right.
At maximum security.
Right. So
Yeah.
that's where that would be the only other hiccup. Otherwise, we can actually, technically, to be honest with you, Mike,
Mhm. Yeah.
man, at that 50% LTV, I've got a product
Uh-huh.
that you don't even need a FICO score,
Right.
right? And that's the fast
Yeah.
50. So technically, on that fast 50, we still allow up to 90% CLTV. So even if you've got a really bad credit situation, but the seller has enough equities willing, you can put down as little as 10%, even with like a 500 FICO score.
I like it.
Technically, yes. I mean, obviously, you want to get the best terms to allow
Yeah.
you the best probability of it cash flowing, right, at
Right.
that 90% CLTV. So obviously, you want the best scores, but just in case you're going through credit
Oh,
challenges, but you got you found a great deal, and it still
yeah.
makes sense.
Right. And again, it could be a purchase or a refi, right? You just did one that was a refi where the
Right
seller
now, the
wasn't
refi one is more rare. That was
of
kind of like a
course.
unicorn thing because yeah, the current lender in place, it was seller financing. He agreed to
Second.
subordinate behind our new first. Yeah,
Right.
so the combined loan to value was only 90%, but it still worked out because that seller financing, they didn't change the terms as far as the interest,
Mm-hmm.
but I guess he had built such a strong relationship with the borrower, and he was working with him on another deal that he was still
Right.
getting paid. Yeah, and,
Right.
and it put the borrower in a better situation because our terms on a first mortgage were way better. And
Right.
actually, he couldn't even get a second, like a HELOC or anything anyway. So that was a moot point. It's just that this is the only way to structure it and put him in put the borrower in the best situation so that it doesn't put the seller in harm's way being in second position. It's a much more stable 30-year fixed loan and not like a bridge loan or something like that too. So yeah, in the case of a refi, much more rare, but still possible.
Yeah. And then the other thing I'm doing in the bonus section that kind of ties in with this 50-40-10 idea is how to find potential owners with a lot of equity. Because obviously one of the things that to make the 50-40-10 work, the owner has to have a lot of equity. to even say yes to this, right? They can't have a first at 95%. That just doesn't work.
No, right.
Yeah.
Right. That's a good point. I thought that would be kind of an obvious thing, but yes, that would be probably a good point because you never know. Someone's like, well, I thought we
Yeah.
could do this. Yeah, but only if the guy had the equity to do so. So yeah, you
Yeah.
might want to put that in there just in case.
Yeah, we talk about that earlier in the slide deck. So it is covered. It's not
Right.
on that slide. But the other
Okay.
bonus I'm giving folks is the prop stream. Prop stream is
Agree.
a tool that all my like Jason Pritchard, Omar, Adrian, Ty, all of these
Mm-hmm.
millionaires on my channel use
Mm-hmm.
to market to potential sellers. Now they're very advanced. They're doing lead stacking, all of those things. But
Mm-hmm.
if you want to find owners with high equity in your buy box, PropStream is the platform, guys that I know use. And I'm big enough now where they gave us a free trial and 450 free records or whatever it is. So I want people to realize that if they understand the Swiss Army knife of the 90% CLTV, they can also marry that with a tool, kind of like I don't know what it would be called, not a magnifying, basically like a metal detector, maybe, like where you're out searching for folks that maybe can say yes.
Right.
That's why I see like PropStream and like Velocity working together. Like Velocity helps find people, and Velocity CLTV or Fast 50 is how you get the deal done. What do you? I think that's a pretty good
No,
marriage.
it's a great marriage because again, all the bar really needs is access to the information to kind of find out who would be the right players to participate. Right? You're not going to call somebody that doesn't even have the ability, might have the desire, but if they don't got enough equity, they don't got the ability to participate. So why waste your time? So if you already get kind of a sneak peek on maybe like you said, use the pop stream to look up current listings, right? And kind of know
Yeah.
the backstory as far as like what their situation is, how long they've owned the property, if there's, maybe
What's the
a current lien on
mortgage?
the property and like
Yep.
that.
Hmm.
You right. Now you can
Yes.
kind of get
Yes.
some of those details to, utilize in your strategy of how you might want to present that seller combined financing, kind of scenario. So PopStream, I think, is a great option. Obviously, there's other tools out there, but
Yeah.
just the actual, that specific tool to allow you to at least get some of that information is all you
Yeah.
really need. But yeah, PopStream it would be a great option for people.
And like your 90-minute deep dive above, PropStream and I did another 90-minute session just giving people a once over of the application. Again, folks, this is a presentation, and just so you know, I have done a dry run. It is recorded. It will go live Sunday morning. So if you want to see the dry run of this presentation, it will go live Sunday morning after I've already given the presentation. So I don't think it's fair to release it early, but I will, as always, I record myself practicing. So they will have them. Yeah, I think the 90% CLTV, understanding the Swiss Army knife, then understanding, hey, there are some tools that can help me find owners who might be able to say yes, I think is a powerful story. But again, lots of a seller, we do a big deep dive in seller financing. Folks,
Right.
just to tease it, I also include a CPA that talks about seller financing, depreciation, recapture, all that. If you want the bonus, these videos are live. So yeah, I feel good about the presentation. I just want to make sure you're okay, because I think there'll be a
Yeah, no,
lot
the
of new.
information.
Yeah.
Yeah, the information was accurate. Those are things I would touch upon. I mean, some of the other things are going to be kind of like a case by case and somewhat of a negotiation between the buyer and seller as far as the terms on the seller second. But other than that, just the easy concept of any combination up to a maximum of a 90% combined loan to value. So get in where you can fit in. I've done combinations of a 42, 48, 10, right?
Yeah.
60, 60, 30, 10. So any combination, but ideally you would want the seller to carry more of the purchase price, if possible.
Yeah. Yep.
But just give the seller their price. I mean, we've talked about this too. They could look down and do the deeper dive with some of the other videos, but don't want to beat a dead horse too much. But I mean, it is what it is. It's just
Yeah.
a great tool to have if the right circumstances kind of allow you to, apply this particular
Yeah.
scenario. Because when it does, man, it's been just pretty. It's fun
Yeah.
because it's a win-win. It truly is.
Everybody wins. Yeah.
Yeah.
Your price, my terms. Again, I
Yeah.
really look at the situation as I can pay more for the property and have a lower payment. I mean, that's kind of like
Mhm.
the magic for me, because I'm a cash flow investor. So, Mr. Stephen Dow, you are going to be
Yes, sir.
bonus material at Northwest Action Summit. I can't wait for the team, uh, to understand, ask questions. And thank you for being here, man. Thank you for helping. And thank you for the 50, 40, 10.
Oh no, I appreciate you again. If you guys still need me, email me at sdao@velocitymortgage.com. In the subject line, please put the acronym ORAAT to make it past the firewall. The body of the email, maybe a brief description, what you're looking for, property address would be super helpful, at least stating the state to make sure I can lend there. Mid FICO score, best phone number to reach you at, and typically 24, 48 hours, I'll be in touch. Otherwise, thank you as always, Mike, for the opportunity to be on this channel.
I know you're right. I'm going to put in I have to add to the PowerPoint, put ORAAT in the subject line, right? I'll make
Right.
sure
Looking
to add
forward
that
to
right now.
getting my emails blown up like
Saturday.
2022, where I didn't sleep a lot. Yeah. Looking
Yeah,
forward
there
to
you
it.
go. All right, buddy. Take care. Thanks.
Thank you. You too. Bye bye.